Hi, my name is Rick Fenwick. I'll be your instructor for the course. Um, Welcome to Management 3600 Organizational Behavior. My background has been in consulting. I've worked both as an internal consultant and an external consultant. I've focused primarily on conflict resolution and mediation, teams, and applying mindfulness in the workplace. I'm also a U.S. Army and Vietnam veteran, and I've been involved in academia for about 25 years, and a good portion of that has been online. I was one of the early people teaching online, so I really enjoy doing these online classes. You're looking at the overview page right here, and you're watching the video. And notice that this course will utilize management principles to give you the tools you need to go after your dream job. And it does focus on application, and it's been reduced to the fundamental principles so that by the end of the course, you will remember applications and you'll have takeaways. Just one example is we have behavioral interview questions for each of the content modules. And we've had students from past classes tell us that they've actually experienced these questions in real interviews. And of course, they did well because they were prepared for the answer. So if you're looking to step into leadership as your calling, or just simply to make a difference in the world, if you consider yourself a motivated achiever, if you're breaking or just looking to break out of your shell, you're in the right place. I would say it's always important to keep an eye on announcements. I've got it set up where none have posted yet, but they will post here shortly. You'll see the top 3 current announcements at the top of the page here on the home page. So from here, let's click over on the syllabus and take a look at it. This is my contact information. This is my cell phone. Using the Canvas messages through the Canvas inbox is preferred, but I also check my BGSU email. At least I check it about once a day. If something's really urgent, you can send me a text on my phone, but make sure you state your name and the class, because I have more than one class that I'm teaching, so I can figure out who I'm talking to. That's the same on emails. Since this is an online class for office hours, what I'll be doing is I'll post an announcement with a phone number and with a conference call, and you can just phone in during the hours posted to that number. In other words, you don't have to do the whole thing. You can just phone in. If you have a question, ask your question. You get your answer. You can hang up and leave. Or if you just want to phone in and hear what other people are saying, you can do that. So I'll try to do that as often as needed. If you look at the weights in the assignments over here, you can see there'll be an individual post that you make to the discussion board that's worth 40%. So that's really the heart of the course. There's also module quizzes associated with each of the chapters worth 30%. There's a midterm and a final, and they're worth 30%. So that totals 100%. There's a nice video here by Daniel Pink on motivation I recommend you watch it. There'll be some questions on the quiz related to that, but it's worth watching. Okay, the textbook is digital. It's built into Canvas. You won't see it in the Start Here module, but you'll see it when you hit the fundamental module and from then on out. So you don't have to do anything. You'll get your content right off of the chapters here, including you can download it to a PDF file if you prefer to read it offline. And the schedule at the bottom of this syllabus, you'll see are due dates. Also, there's due dates on the calendar, the course calendar, and then each module. And I'll show you this here in a minute. The due dates are listed there too, so there shouldn't be any problem figuring out when something's due. So let me go through the assignments description. You're going to have some mini practice quizzes that are not graded. You get 3 takes, 5 questions per. The advantage is they pull questions from the same question pool as the graded quizzes, so it gets you ready for the graded quiz. Each module has a graded quiz. There's 2 takes, 50 questions, and including the Start Here module will have one. And then you have your discussion board form. So that's where you're going to, you'll get instructions with questions to answer, and you're going to draft your main post. And you'll post that to your group. Everyone has been assigned to a group, and the group assignments were done randomly. And then once you've made that post into a group, you'll be able to see the assignments, the individual posts of other group members, and then you're going to participate in a discussion with your group members, and you'll post 5 substantive posts within the group discussion. And so that's kind of the heart of the course activity. Then you have the midterm and the final, and of course I'll give details on that. Now at the bottom of the syllabus, here you can see how due dates are always summarized down here at the bottom, so it's pretty easy to follow. What I want to do is I want to go back up and just talk a little bit through the course details. I find it's easier to right-click and open a new window when working through this canvas. So you may want to try the same thing. So I kind of talked through the course. Course is for you. This is the executive summary. I like this video. This is the way most courses approach content. You get a textbook with 20, 25 chapters in it, and then you start cramming the information. So by the end of the course, you really don't remember too much about it. And so we wanted to avoid that. When I say we, I'm working in collaboration with Dr. Katie and Dr. R.J. Fenwick on this course. And so so the question becomes, how much content will we cover? And so what you can see here is this is an example of text. And some you can see this one has 26 chapters, and they all have a lot of chapters. And so when you start fitting all of that content into a course, you're cramming the content. And so what we did is we boiled this down to what are the fundamental principles that are covered by every text. That becomes the core learnings, and then there was a lot of variation in what they added in addition to that. So here's what we're covering. You can see the chapters are listed. Right now we're working through the Start Here, module, which goes quicker than the other modules. This we're on the and Start Here is about how we're going to do the course. So you're not seeing any course content yet, and you're not seeing the text yet, but you will. As soon as we hit fundamentals, you'll be introduced to the course text, and then you can see these are the fundamental chapters covered by every single textbook that was reviewed. And so they cover fundamentals of management, teams and groups, human resources, leadership, motivation, and decision making. And then let me pull this down. The chapter structure. You'll see there's at each chapter, when we get into the text, starts with a principle. And there'll be a problem that or a challenge that you'll need to solve in a simulation. And so what you will do, you will apply the principle of that chapter and the content of that chapter to solve the challenge. And that's true in each case. So you'll see that it's laid out, and there'll be an introduction to the chapter. There'll be competency A, competency B, competency C. Some have a competency D. And then there's a conclusion, and you'll see a challenge along with each of those. Let me pull this up here. There's a case simulation. We call it IDC West. It's a case study, and it'll run as a theme through each of the chapters. And so what you'll do is you'll review a script. There's a video also if you want to watch it. And then from that, you get the structure of, or you'll get a challenge associated with each of the competencies. So you'll solve challenge A, B, C, and so forth, and debrief the results. And I think you'll get used to that pretty quick. And this, once again, this just kind of duplicates how the modules are laid out. I want to get into the flow. I like this this page right here, because I think this is a real good summary of how the class is going to work. Notice in step 1, what you're going to do as individually, you're going to read the content. You'll access the content online through Canvas. You can download it into a PDF if you want. And then you're going to take the practice quizzes. There'll be a practice quiz associated with each of the challenges or each competency. Then you're going to review the instructions for your individual post. You're going to address all the questions, and I'll post an example so to help you. You'll see the example, you'll see the grading rubric, and then you're going to post your individual posts to your group discussion board. And then you'll take the graded quiz. Having done that, then you move into step 2, which is group discussion. So with the members of your team or your group, you'll make sure the due dates pass so that everyone's posted their individual posts. And then you start having a discussion on the individual posts. And you're going to post 5 quality posts. You'll post on different days. Don't do it all on one day, because you'll see different things progress on different days. And then you'll ask questions. You'll give feedback. You'll ask questions. In other words, you want to add value with the comments that you make. And this is the heart of, this is fundamentally what you're going to do throughout the entire course. Now, these are some time savers you can take a look at. Let me see, I want to get back to where I was, the time savers. I want to say something about workload and expectations, because sometimes people, if they're not familiar with online, they think it's easy or easier than a traditional course, and it's really not. It's you're doing the same amount of work that's being done as if we were going to meet live in a classroom. And so you need to be mentally prepared to spend some time drafting your individual post and reading the posts of others and making comments in this discussion, preparing for the test. In other words, you're going to need to spend as much time online as you would in a traditional course. I'll give you a chance to read through that. Check my list to see if I've covered. I wanted to mention that. Let me go back up to the content chapters right here. I always get the question, why not open everything so people can work ahead? And we have tried different combinations of doing that in past courses and found it to really be confusing. And especially when you consider the discussions are in all done within a week's time. If you spread it out beyond that, it's just it loses the dynamics of the discussion. So anyway, what we're doing is what's called adaptive release. When one closes, the next one opens. And so what that does, that paces your team through the content, and you're all moving together at the same pace. And we found that simply works best. Now, is it possible that I can adjust the dates 1 or 2 days, one earlier if that seems, sometimes people say, hey, based on my schedule, if this would open a day earlier, make a difference. Yeah, if that happens, send me an email. I can probably do that. But we'll stay on this adaptive release schedule. All right, this is back to the syllabus. If you look over here, let me give you, if we click on modules here, let me give you a quick look at that. You can see, start here, you have an overview video. I'll give you, usually give you some best practice examples from, at least from past classes on this to get you started. You can see this is for your post, this is for your quiz, this will show you what you need to do, this will talk you through that. There's no extra credit planned for this particular course right now. You can see this is the fundamentals module once it opens and what it looks like. You can see this is where you're getting, this is where you get into content. You'll click that and that'll open the text. And then you'll come down here, get your mission, and then you'll have competency A. You open this and you'll get more text from the chapter. Then you get a competency B. You open this, you have more text from the chapter. Then there's a competency C, and you'll get more text from the chapter. And then there's a conclusion. So all the modules will follow that format. So here I am, I'm back to home page, and pretty easy, I think, to navigate. And hopefully you're finding that these videos that I post are helpful in clarification. Thanks. I hope you enjoy the class.